Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into a very special episode of the New Fashion Conservatives. I'm your host, Justin Phillips, and with me as always is the one and only lifelong Democrat having an A-plus full week, Shadow Governor Voss.
Robin Voss's strongest soldier.
And joining us for a ride along are three super awesome people. The man known to the Wisconsin X-verse as JSOpinions at JS Online MKEBS. And the Wisconsin Whisperer, you know her on X as Big Nick Energy, Nicole Balistreri. And the legendary E. Brooks Uncut, Eric Brooks. Welcome to the show, everyone.
Hello.
What's up?
Yeah, glad to be here, everyone. Thanks for having me.
And we're talking about the big Trump news in the governor's race. UW chancellors leaving for Columbia, and a fresh bit of candy, including trees and some animal news. So everyone, we got to start off with the big news that Donald Trump came out and endorsed Tom Tiffany, and immediately following that, Josh Schoemann dropped out of the race. So Josh is a great guy. He was one of the first people to reach out to us to come on the pod. Great interview. We have a great admiration for him. So I'm going to read his statement real quick and we'll just react. So his statement said, "First, I want to give glory to God for his grace and blessing in all the circumstances. I want to congratulate Congressman Tiffany and his supporters for receiving President Trump's endorsement. I wish Tom great success in November. If we focus on the people of Wisconsin rather than fighting one another, we can make Wisconsin the place to be, not just be from. I'm proud of the campaign we ran and want to give my sincere thanks to my family and supporters who believe in our message. Our fight to reclaim Wisconsin will go on." So Nicole, kicking it off to you first.
Yeah.
Josh Schoemann dropping out, Tom Tiffany getting that endorsement.
Yeah, this was, obviously bittersweet for me. So I did do a little bit of work with Josh and his campaign team. Wonderful people. I had a really great experience. I think Josh has a lot of really great ideas. He's a really nice guy. He cares a lot about Wisconsin. He truly is Wisconsin first. I got hooked up with him because I used to run public affairs, PR, and social for Delta Defense, the USCCA, based out in West Bend in his area. So that's how I kind of knew him and got hooked up there. But, I think it was the right choice for him at this time. I think he did it in a really classy way. He has an incredible future ahead of him. I'm really glad to count him a friend, and we've had some great conversations, and I just, hope to continue to watch him succeed.
All right, JS, thoughts on Tiffany landing in this endorsement and what it means for the race?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really know much about Josh Schoemann even before he started to run. And I mean, maybe that was probably the problem a little bit. But that being said, he seems like a nice guy. I've only heard good things about him. But I will say what speaks most of all about his character is the fact that he dropped out after that. I mean, it was over. Everyone knew it was over. That Trump endorsement was clearly the dagger. But I will say this, I am extremely excited for once in an election cycle, Republicans do not need to worry about a bloody primary. That is the worst thing to watch, especially from inside the party, to have to see that. And then a lot of that attack comes back up later. And then there's bad blood within the establishment, within the party, and it has serious implications for the general. So for once, we actually have a non-contested primary. The Democrats still will probably rig theirs like they do every single time, but at least we'll be on a level playing field.
All right, fellas.
Well, I'm going to just echo JS Online's opinion real quick. But, I did see a little bit of cope. And the only reason I know it's cope is because I did the same thing. When the Dems are saying, well, actually, it's a good thing that we have a competitive primary because this, iron sharpens iron, whatever crap. It's all cope. If they all go start fighting each other, it's a net positive for us because as soon as they start, slinging arrows, someone's going to get their feelings hurt. Now, the only problem is Democrats have a tendency to rally a lot better than Republicans because, we're staunch and principled and individuals. And so we kind of take that a little bit harder than Democrats. But the fact that the primary on the Dem side is so large as it is, there's bound to be some people that, get a little upset when the arrows inevitably start flying. So
yeah, probably people that have restraining orders on other candidates on the stage. I think we all know who we're talking about. I don't need to say it.
Bill Berrien and Jiz Lee. This is what
You're
you guys
right.
are getting with me, right?
yeah.
No, I mean,
Go ahead, Brooks.
I'm super. So like, I'm a diehard Tom Tiffany fan. I've been a big supporter of his going back to when he first ran for Congress. Good friend, good conservative. This is a big week for him, but I think it's a big week for the Republican movement, the conservative movement, right? Like, very rarely are we the ones that are unified going into a general election. This is the first open governor's race in 16 years. Like, the Dems, we get to sit back and watch them fight it out. And this is the thing. Like, yes, they usually find a way to consolidate and coalesce behind one person. I don't know if they're doing that this year because there's so many different candidates that all have their own lane. Their donor base is divided. We get to sit back and watch that chaos while we have our candidate in January. And to the point that JS and Nicole had brought up, like, credit to Josh Schoemann. Josh is a good guy. He ran a clean campaign. He brought a lot of good ideas to the race. Very rarely in Republican primary politics do you see a candidate exit the race with higher stock than they came into that race with. I think Josh has done that. I think Josh came into this race as kind of a relative unknown. Those of us in Southeast Wisconsin kind of knew who he was, but he got out, he worked his ass off, right? He was doing 72 counties. Credit to Josh for that. His team did a great job with that. I think the goodwill that he has built up by gracefully bowing out of this race, not just dragging this out and making Republicans spend money and months of time beating each other up, it's going to set himself up for something nicely in the future, whether that's another gov run, whether that's something else, I don't know. But I think he has been able to leave this race with a lot of goodwill and a lot of new Josh Schoemann fans that he came into this race with, and credit to him. That's not an easy thing to do in this environment. Yeah, well, and just to swallow, just a little bit of pride and to do it right away too. Like, not like, okay, we're gonna think about this. We're gonna go back and we'll a month later you're still doing events and stuff, like, pretty much. And that's for political candidates. Sometimes they feel like, oh well, if we just do this one more event, we do this another breakthrough, oh we'll get it. The Trump endorsement is about it's an immutable fact of the universe, pretty much. So to have him just basically bow out gracefully right away, obviously a lot of respect to him, and that's hard to do. I don't think that's just easy to kind of admit where you're at and just to accept that reality. So more credit to him for that.
Can I say something about him that I don't know that maybe people would think or maybe would know? My experience of him is that, and I didn't know this would be the case, he actually has like way better gut instincts than I expected in terms of like what to say and when to say it and stuff. Now, whether or not that comes to fruition, and comes out or whatever is another story, as we all know how that goes. But I think he I do think he gets it. I really do. So I thought that was important to say, right?
No, absolutely. And I think, like you said, it speaks to a lot that we're going to have a united front going into November. And it's not just donors. It's not just, kind of the people that have to come home that may have supported another candidate. It's the staff too. Because I know when you have someone like Rebecca Clayfish and Tim Michaels in their race, you have people who, decide to work for one side and then sit on their hands for the next 3 or 4 months and not working for Tim. No, this is people that bring them together. And then almost concurrent with the endorsement of Tom Tiffany by President Trump, President Trump released his endorsement of Michael Alfonso, who's running in the 7th Congressional District. And then shortly thereafter, actually on Friday, Michael Alfonso was endorsed by Tom Emmer, Speaker Mike Johnson, and Steve Scalise. So a lot of the House leadership coming together to endorse Michael as well as the president. Folks, what do you think of that information? JS, let's go to you first.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of cool. I think as someone from that's also Generation Z, It is cool to have some representation, although it does give me a little bit of bad taste because it just seems like everyone, like it was an agreement. He obviously has the connection with Duffy. I'm not saying that. I don't really know much about him. I'm not saying that he would be bad, but I will say he's pretty young. Congress, from what I've heard, can be pretty crazy. There's certainly a wing of Congress that is pretty crazy. And, you know, it would be a shame if he lost focus because he wasn't focusing on his job and he was focusing on other things, especially in Washington, D.C. So I guess we'll see what happens. I mean, I think that he'll probably win now. But so I'm kind of conflicted about the whole thing.
Shadow Gov, Brooks, what's your take for that race?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm being honest, and this is just as a, outside observer, we're on the opposite side of the state as the beautiful 7th Congressional District. But to me, I think Mike Alfonso wrapped this race up this week, right? Not just the Trump endorsement. Obviously, that's huge up in Trump country, 7th Congressional District. But having the full weight of the NRCC and all the national big money people is huge. Now, I think there'll be some people where that outsider influence isn't going to play well in the 7th Congressional District. And I think if there was a strong candidate running against Mike Alfonso, they might be able to make it a race. I just don't see that happening with this current field, right? You've got a bunch of other people with no real name ID, don't have the sway that Alfonso does with the Duffy connection. Paul Waskeren seems like a good guy, but Oxford educated LA transplant lawyer doesn't exactly seem like a 7th Congressional District guy to me, right? Never voted in the 7th Congressional District. Jesse Eben, who ran against DVO carpetbagging into the 7th Congressional District, doesn't exactly seem like someone that's going to play well. Kevin Hermaning, I don't even know if this dude's running, right? Like he said he's going to run. Haven't seen really much of him. I don't know what his strategy is, but coming in after a Trump endorsement and after all these big power play endorsements for Alfonso, I don't know if you're going to have the firepower to take that on no matter what you're doing. So I think there are valid criticisms of Alfonso and his experience or lack thereof, or where his money's coming from. But I think there are also very valid criticisms of a lot of these other candidates. And without someone who has 7th Congressional District ties to the grassroots, I don't know how you're overcoming this week from Mike Alfonso. I think he's done enough, and I think he's gonna. You can't take the eye off the ball, but I think he's in the driver's seat right now for sure.
Yeah, I certainly agree. My thing is, obviously, before this whole crazy primary even kicked off, we talked about, we thought for sure there's got to be a number of state legislators that were going to get in, or at least one. We're not really seeing that. So it's kind of anyone's game at that point. But with Michael Alfonso, I don't really care about the quote unquote lack of a record. Like part of me is like, you need to have some establishment. You have to have some credentials before you get into something like Congress. But at this point, I think Congress is such a lost cause. I think him going there, like, there is no downside. He's 25. He doesn't really know the system that well. He can't do any worse than some other people, like other congressmen. I just think there's, I don't want to say unlimited upside, but I think that there's almost way more upside than, okay, he doesn't have like a record or doesn't have like the chops. Like, even if he goes to Congress and in the 7th Congressional District, obviously being like a plus R30 district, and he just throws bombs and kind of shakes things up a little bit, I think that's a net positive.
Yeah, I mean, like his rollout video. I mean, rollout video is just a rollout video, but it captured a lot of the things that as a younger person I feel are wrong with this country. Like, he hit a lot of those high notes. It's a great video. I highly recommend checking it out. Again, I think there's valid concerns and criticisms over experience, but a lot of the conversation centered around him has come across as being like a lot of wait your turn bullshit that a lot of young conservatives who run for office have to deal with. And like, to me, that rubs me the wrong way and just makes me like more willing to support him and overlook a lot of the criticisms. To Shadow Governor Voss's point, right? Like, you're in Congress, you're one of 435 in the House. Just don't be an embarrassment. Don't screw things up. you can figure a lot of things out on the fly there, and you can be a good rep. Like when Tony Weed, like a year ago, was running for that congressional seat, he got the Trump endorsement out of nowhere. Nobody knew who this guy was. And I mean, I knew people associated with his campaign, and I liked them a lot, and was open to listening. But I think a lot of people, myself included, were like, you got to be more than just I'm the Trump guy, I'm the Trump guy, I'm the Trump guy. Nobody cares. Like, tell us what you're about. Tell us what you are going to do. And honestly, like I had a lot of reservations about Tony Weed. He's gotten to Congress. He's been a damn good congressman. He's done a great job. And so like, I don't think we should write people off just because of lack of experience. There are plenty of experienced people in Congress who fucking suck. Like, let's be completely honest here.
Well, yes, but don't you think?
Yeah, I think again.
Don't you think that maybe it's not the experience, but the fact of how he's getting the seat? Like, I think there's a valid point to bring that it's just his connections. That's it. And when you're 25 years old, he's 25, right? If you're 25 years old, you better be like, are you super smart? Are you super intelligent? Like, have you built a business? What have you done at 25 years old to deserve a seat in Congress? Now, yeah, sure, Congress doesn't do anything, and it's like a pointless institution at this point. But like, it's still an important and respected job. Like, for someone to get a congressional seat, like, I don't think it should just be based on who you know. Now, I'm not saying that. I really haven't looked much into Mike Alfonso specifically, so I can't really go after his points, but that alone makes me at least question it. And for me, at least I'm kind of an outsider in that whole race because I don't even know anyone that's running against him. But all I can see is that there's these weird connections that make it seem like there's nothing but who he knows getting him a congressional seat.
So, Nicole, as you and I being the elder millennials, thoughts on a 25-year-old with the connections of Michael Alfonso being the presumptive leader in that race right now?
Well, so he's definitely going to win the primary, right? I mean, it's interesting to kind of watch the hand wringing about the money that's coming in. Like, this is how this works, right? And so I understand the point of, well, is he just kind of like getting in because of his connections, etc.? I mean, yeah, there's a lot of stories that I think everybody sitting on this interview, whatever roundtable right now, could tell about, who matters, right? And your connections matter. Now, whether or not, that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, look, he's going to get to Congress, and, getting anything done there is really hard, right now, in general. And he's going to have, people that are more experienced there to help him. He's going to, whatever, maybe be a backbencher, just kind of support what they tell him to support. And that's the way it is. I don't love it. I don't hate it. I don't have a real strong opinion about it either way. His age, does it bother me? No, it doesn't. 'Cause I think that we need younger people. We need fresher ideas. We need different things. I mean, I had my whole crabby manifesto about RPW on X the other day, complaining about how, things need to be, we need to kind of break the cycle and have different ideas. So, I can't be intellectually dishonest. So, good luck. God bless, Mike Alfonso.
Can I add one more point to this? I will just tell you from someone that is in Gen Z, we are struggling a lot right now when it comes to finding jobs. I know a lot of people, that are struggling to move into a different career to make more money, to advance their career, and just can't. And these are the issues Gen Z cares about. You want to know why Mamdani won? It's because no one addressed that issue. And when you're Gen Z and you see another member, if you see another member of Gen Z getting a job because of who you know, it suddenly starts to make you maybe wonder whether pull yourselves up by your bootstraps, work hard to earn what you get is actually true, right? And now everyone knows that, yes, connections matter, but it's about the elites trying to continue this cycle. And that's what Gen Z cares about. This is the populist message that Trump did so well with in Gen Z. And you are literally seeing the prime example right now of Mike Alfonso getting a job. And I mean, because like, if anyone tries to deny that it has nothing to do with Sean Duffy, they should shut up.
I don't think
like,
anyone.
That's a stupid,
we are all realists.
thing
We
to
are
say.
all realists here.
I know.
And we all realize.
So why are we dancing around the issue and saying it's experience? It has nothing to do with experience. It has all to do with the fact that he's just getting a seat for free when other people who maybe could work harder. Now, again, maybe there aren't, but other people, like other members of Gen Z, work way harder and they don't have the benefit of knowing these people. But I think a better leader, a true leader for Gen Z that's actually going to drive change is someone that comes from that background, right? Someone that isn't getting something, isn't going and succeeding because of who they know. It's someone that earned it, right? And that's just kind of my gut instinct to the situation. Again, Mike Alfonso could be a great person and say some great things, and I'll have to look into him. But just my gut instinct from that whole connection, it just kind of, it gives me bad vibes.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of reasons to, be a little concerned about someone at 25. Again, using that background that he has, those connections he has to get himself a congressional seat. But to Eric's point, I 100% agree. Right now, the criticisms of him just come off as like boomers and older Gen X scolding him for not waiting his turn when, I don't think that should be part of politics at all. And I would finally, I'd want to remind, listeners that there was a congressman from Wisconsin elected in the late 90s who was only 28 years old, who had a resume that was kind of as thin as Michael Alfonso's is right now and had a lot of connections to the district he ran in. And that guy turned out to be Paul Ryan. So you could, it has happened in Wisconsin before. It has in a lot of ways worked out for someone who became a leader in Congress, but remains to be seen if Michael Alfonso is that way. But right now, I think the criticism from him is coming from the wrong people, and it's the wrong message.
I don't know if the Paul Ryan comp is gonna really appease the Alfonso folks, but
that's true. But as that elder millennial who was brought into conservatism by that fiscal hawk, Paul Ryan, still have a lot of respect for someone like that. And you're right, that comp's not going to sit well with the Gen Z conservative turning point folks, but I'm going to make it anyways.
Well, but even then, it's like I want to see someone again, I would love to see more Gen Z people. We need more Gen Z. We need more representation because the other generations have no idea what they're talking about and are stupid. But sorry, all of those other generations. But I would like to see an organic Gen Z leader because that's who's going to make the change. That's who's going to be willing to change things and actually, because at the end of the day, you look at the polling on this issue of why Gen Z voted for Trump so much. It wasn't because specifically of his conservative values. It was because we just want someone that's going to screw up the system, that's going to change it. And that's why it goes from Trump to Mamdani, right? Because both of those people are actually put out and have the image of I'm going to make this change and I'm going to screw up the system so that it can work better for us, right? Both campaigned on that issue, and that's what's going to be successful.
Yeah, and I hope that Alfonso is able to answer some of these questions about the family, right? Show me that you're more than a family name. Show me that you can be this leader for a very, very big district and a very, frankly, one of the older districts in terms of just median age in the entire state. But for me, I remember being that 20-something-year-old going to county party meetings in Waukesha County, trying to change the world and saying I have all these great ideas, and being told by a lot of the older folks who've been around the block for a while, oh, that's cute, just wait your turn. And so when I see some of the criticisms of Alfonso solely because of his age, right? There are valid criticisms elsewhere, but when I see some of these criticisms solely because of his age, as that person who's been in that position has been told, no, just sit in the corner. It's really cute that we have a young person here. I just reject that wholeheartedly. And I think we need to be willing to embrace young and fresh faces and young and fresh ideas in this part.
To be clear, though, it's not even about age because I'm 40. Well, how old was I at the time? 36, 37. And they still told me to just go right to hell and go sit in the corner. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is boomers, though. This is boomers, right? These are the people that
are holding onto power for way too long.
Yes, they are screwing up Social Security. Like, talk about Paul Ryan. This was like one of his one things that he would talk about that was unpopular. No, with those folks, right? Is how can we change? He had to dance around it, but they're literally we're not gonna, like, my generation's not gonna have Social Security. And if you talk about it, you're shooting yourself in the head, right? But it's like maybe Mike Alfonso will be the one to do it. I mean, it wouldn't probably play well with his district, but like it's things like that, right? Where you want that catalyst to be able to kind of break down that chokehold that boomers, quite frankly, have on power.
He's by far, he's got the best eyebrows in the race. He's the Matt LaFleur of congressional candidates, except I hope this guy actually wins.
True.
With that,
he's in what our generation would call looks max.
With that, I think we got to spend a couple of minutes talking about what's going on in Minnesota and kind of the way that ties into Wisconsin. So the Democrats right now are really trying to make the death of Alex Pretti part of the campaign. Even though they tried it with Renee Good, it lasted about 2 weeks. Alex Pretti's lasted about a week. So as we know, the perpetrator who was shot by ICE agents while resisting arrests after disrupting a law enforcement operation has been whitewashed by the Democratic Party and the press. They say he was merely a nurse from Green Bay. He was a peaceful protester. NIMBY leftist comedian Charlie Barron's called him Midwest nice, but the subsequent videos that we've seen over the past few days show that he was anything but. The real Alex Pretti was not a peaceful protester. He was not a sensitive nurse, but a left-wing fanatic and violent lawbreaker who kicked in the taillight of an ICE vehicle trying to disrupt the arrest of a violent illegal immigrant. And in fact, I think when he had a previous encounter with federal agents, he actually broke his rib for interfering with that investigation. But as this relates to Milwaukee, we did have a handful of the Socialist Dork Caucus spend some time up in Minnesota calling for, the end to the federal occupation of Minnesota by ICE and ending its congressional funding. So, Shadow Gov, Eric, give me your thoughts.
Well, I just wanted to say it's interesting. It's not just the Socialist Caucus. So it was an interesting smattering of legislators. So we had Representative Phelps, who is part of the Socialist, and Clancy, who was part of the caucus, and then the usual Chris Larson with his hideous facial hair, some of the worst I've ever seen. But then we had people like it wasn't Jenna Jacobson. It's the other senator that kind of looks like Jenna Jacobson.
Radcliffe.
Yeah. Yes. Senator Radcliffe joined.
Kieski was
and
there.
Then Kieski is a very odd one. Kieski represents like a 50-50 Senate district. And, maybe granted, she just won, so it's like 3 years away until she has to run again. So it's probably not that big of a deal. And then there was another assembly member that is regrettably,
it was like McCarville or one of the generic white ladies from the Dane County area.
Yeah, that I just don't remember. So they, of course, and I meant to say this earlier on X, but I posted we demand to be taken seriously from Arrested Development, because that's just kind of what my initial.
So perfect.
It's pretty perfect for it. But this is just kind of the virtue signaling, and of course, the Democrats want ICE to come here because they want a reason to be angry, and so they're wanting this to happen, of course. And the internet, at least in on the mood on Blue Sky, was definitely a little bit anxious, though, because resident abortionist and murderer Dr. Kristen Lyerly,
great name for a Democrat.
Yeah, Lyerly. Yeah, she does it a lot, and she did it this time where she said, "Oh, the Hilton in Milwaukee just booked 100 rooms for ICE. They're coming in, and to gear up." And of course, that was debunked, but that didn't stop her from posting about it and riling up Blue Sky into thinking that ICE was going to come here and that they were all, needing to get their network of agitators ready. So
I'm glad that Kristen Lyerly gave Blue Sky a nice distraction from being a bunch of pedophiles to worry about something else. But we have a Democrat caucus in Wisconsin that is just full of perpetual theater kids who this is just their latest performance, right? They're mad. So they don't have WISI as a free captive audience. So they need to create their own audience to do their theatrics with. And look, there are a million different angles of the Alex Pretti video for people to interpret, and then there's a million other AI edited angles of shit too. Setting whatever you think happened there aside, like, this guy wasn't just a well-being nurse trying to help people out. Like, he was there intentionally trying to provoke people. And to Shadow Governor Voss's point, like, this is just the new current thing for Democrats. It's not even like we're opposed to ICE. I mean, they are, but this is their new Palestine. All right, that kind of faded out. So now this is our new thing that we're going to get riled up about and try to claim oppression over, when, like, realistically, if Alex Pretti was arrested for kicking in that taillight a week ago, he's probably still alive today.
Probably. And as a lifelong Democrat, I am actually appalled that Tony Evers is not talking about the genocide in Gaza, but he's talking about Minnesota. There are children literally being genocided in Gaza right now.
Minnesota's a bigger shithole, though.
Correct. And for anyone that doesn't know, yes, just doing a little bit of trolling on the former Bird app. Highly recommend people to go over there and follow the podcast, as well as myself and everyone else. Everyone else should drop their handles as well here, at some point. And then, but feel free, Nicole and JS Online, ICE in Milwaukee, or ICE in the Midwest.
So I want to talk about the women as the woman here today. I can't tell you how weird it is to me to see women, like, on TikTok or Instagram, like, getting their, like, there was that woman that was, like, wearing her baby to, like, go to the ICE protest, right? I don't understand what's happening. I mean, I get, like, the women without kids, right? I think when you don't have something to direct your empathy, love, and care to as a woman, you kind of place it, wherever you can, your pets, your whatever, right? And I don't consider myself, like, trad. I also don't consider myself a feminist. I mean, I work, I enjoy working. I'm also a mom. I have my own money, like, whatever. But there's something very, like, weird going on with the women that are at the ICE protests. I'm concerned. And I think it's even more concerning when you are, like, willing to, like, take your children into that. Now, full disclosure, I did take my child to school board meetings, right? But I would never take my child to a protest or a place that could become violent. And I just think that really speaks to just whatever is going on, like, with that path. Like, I don't know what pathology that is, but it's not right. So, I see more women, like, agitating online and on social than I do men. You know what I mean? This is, like, a very feminized thing, and I don't really know what that's about, but that's something that I've noticed.
Well, to be fair, all the men that are also involved are pretty effeminate themselves. It's and JS Online, I want your opinion here too, but I cannot stop thinking about the video. And if you haven't seen it, we can link it as well. There's a video of this woman who tried to pick up a flashbang from ICE. Now, if anyone that doesn't know what a flashbang is, it looks like kind of like a grenade, and they throw it and it makes a big boom sound and light, and it basically disorients you and try to get you to go back. Now, what she probably thought it was a tear gas canister, and so she went to pick it up, and it probably, like, blew off some fingers or something. And there's this video, she's, like, running, and she just hurls herself over, and she's in a ton of pain. But it's like, I mean, the amount of steps you have to get from, like, I'm leaving my house, I'm driving to the location, I'm at the location, all right, I'm going to physically pick up this item, I don't know what it is, and now my hand's gone, for all to protect criminal, illegal foreign nationals. But
right,
I don't get it.
As a mother, I don't understand packing up my children to go to an anti-ICE protest because I don't want criminals deported from my community. Like, I don't get that. Like, I don't understand.
Well, maybe JS Online has an opinion that we can illuminate us all.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I definitely have an opinion. I think all of these people are lunatics and need to be arrested and thrown in prison. That's what I think. They're lunatics.
It's a very
That's the
moderate
thing.
position.
You know, it shocks me. Like, I'm sorry, if you're bringing your child, your child is like, should not be living with you. You are a lunatic and should be thrown in prison immediately. And most of these people, like, the fact of the matter is, how has Trump not already used like the Insurrection Act or something to like they're attacking police cars and stuff like that. Do you think in the 1970s, if they were doing that, we would we're talking about a time period that I'm pretty sure there was a point in American history where like a bunch of unions started to protest and like the military like gunned them down. Now, obviously that's not a good thing, but I'm just saying like there was clearly a different tolerance for this stuff back in the day. And our lack of tolerance of it has allowed these people to destroy property, make these cities very unsafe, all to protect criminals. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, like they need to go to a halfway house or something, or a mental institution or something, because they've completely lost their mind. And I think that's what 4 years of Trump and plus another 4 does to people. It literally scrambles their brains.
I would like to just throw out just to rein things in and get a little bit serious for a second, just a public service announcement. If you are a radical Democrat at one of these ICE protests, please pick up live flashbangs. Please pick up live flashbangs. They're perfectly safe. Nothing will go wrong. Whatever, I'm speaking to Shadow Governor Voss's fellow Democrats here. Whatever he said earlier is false. It's fake news. They're perfectly safe. Please pick up live ammunition and hang on to it as long as possible.
Well, it's kind of amusing. It's already amusing because they're now trying to utilize the Second Amendment. And the fact, like, these are people that, they can't do anything, let alone touch a weapon. Like, what is our country going to devolve into once these lunatics get a hold of weapons?
Well,
I mean, honestly, they should have background checks. We should pass background checks for guns, but it should only be if you are a Democrat, you should not be able to have a gun.
Correct.
Because you're probably going to kill someone accidentally.
Well, it's like my famous gun control, but for trans people. Like, Jesus. I mean, you are mentally unstable. Like, this is it's an actual argument. Like having trans people in the military. Yes, let's put a bunch of mentally unstable people in the military and then give them 155 millimeter howitzer ammo and say, have fun. Like, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No one would okay that. Go ahead.
Can we just talk about some of the absolutely batshit insane rhetoric coming out of Tim Walz's mouth over this, right? Like the Civil War comparison. This man was allegedly a high school history teacher.
Right.
And he's trying to draw comparisons to like Fort Sumner and Civil War. It's like, hey, dumbass, you guys lost that war too. Also, that war was also fought over Democrats trying to keep their free and cheap slave labor intact. So great analogy, buddy. Please keep it up. Whatever you have to do to distract from all the Somali fraud in Minnesota, please keep speaking.
Speaking of insane rhetoric, just wanted to tie this into Wisconsin as well. The Dan O'Donnell posted this. Now he signed up for department, Democrat Party of Wisconsin emails. So God bless him. But this email coming from the chairman, Devin Remiker, who exactly
noted IPA drinker.
Yeah, Mr. IPA incarnate.
As an IPA drinker, I resent that comment.
It's okay, but it fits. So he, in this email that he sent out to the entire mailing list, I'm assuming, he calls immigration enforcement officers execution squads and makes the outrageous and patently false claim that they murder you if you dare question them. So he said Trump and the GOP command and support execution squads operating outside the law on the streets of American cities. They can come to your community, attack your neighbors, murder you if you dare question them, and lied that you were a domestic terrorist that deserved it. We are running out of time to stop it, and every election in 2026 is an emergency. So, not that this is a huge surprise, but execution squads, like that's even far for Democrats. Like I haven't
So
heard.
I need to say something about this. So this is actually concerning to me, and I'm going to be really serious for a minute and like not, make fun of Democrats. I had a conversation with someone who is a pretty well-known progressive who I actually like and respect quite a bit, and we'll talk to and have coffee with.
Shadow Governor Voss.
Yes, I'm a lifelong Democrat.
And he's a very smart guy, like a really genuinely a smart person. But I'm telling you right now, he believes that.
Yeah.
And I attempted to have a conversation about that because I'm trying to get to the bottom of where is this coming from that you actually believe that ICE is an execution squad that is going to come to your neighborhood and pull people out of their homes and put them on their knees in the street and kill them? Help me help you, right? And all I can really get to is that the information bubble and the fact that we all have our own algorithm that's feeding us just constant streams of content that we, is affirming our worldview is really damaging. And it is especially damaging if you don't have, I don't know, the intellectual fortitude. And I'm not saying he doesn't have this because he willingly talks to me and he knows that I don't believe anything that he believes politically. But there's something happening where they literally believe this. And that is scary because if people are literally thinking that this is going to happen, what are they going to do? And so I don't know what to do here, right? As a mom raising a child, as somebody who's trying to live in this world, there are people that believe this and are ready to fight the government, right? To protect, I don't know, criminals from being deported. So I just found that to be fascinating, and I needed to interject that.
So next topic, UW Chancellor Mnuchin has announced she's leaving UW for Columbia. It's something to be said about a candidate who somehow pissed off both the far left and the right in taking this job. So I noticed that the pro-Palestine left was most offended by Mnuchin as a Jewish legal scholar who publicly condemned the October 7th Hamas massacre and warned of rising anti-Semitism and Islamophobia. The Daily Cardinal said she couldn't meet the moment and was never a leader. But I think the people most happy with Jennifer Mnuchin leaving for Columbia are UW athletic fans. So she seemed to have the biggest disinterest in athletics. Big Cat from Barstool tagged Mnuchin on X, demand she fix the football program, saying that time to start caring about the program as much as literally every alumni from your university does. Fix it. That prompted the response of former basketball star Sam Decker, who chimed in with a lack of confidence, saying, "Lamo, unfortunately, this will never happen with her." She supported athletic director Chris McIntosh through this, and her statement that basically amounted to saying, "I have the confidence in whoever that AD is." No, genuinely, her actual statement is, "We all know what a complicated time it is for college athletics. Our athletic director, Chris McIntosh, has my full confidence as we navigate these changes here at UW-Madison." So as a UW sports fan for the state of Wisconsin, Shadow Gov, Brooks, do you think this change in leadership will bring a change at the football team as well?
As a Minnesota Gopher fan, I fucking hope not. Good riddance to Jen Mnuchin, though. Please take your politics with you. We'll see how Columbia University students feel when they find out that their new chancellor or president is Jewish. Sure, that'll go over great given everything there. Look, I don't want to tap dance too quickly because, as we've known with UW chancellors, it can always get worse.
Oh yeah.
All I'm saying is, Joe Gao has the opportunity to do the funniest
Joe
thing.
Gao. Joe Gao. Joe Gao's the only one for that role.
Free Joe Gao.
Joe Gao is
UW,
free
if
Joe
you're
Gao.
listening to this, free Joe Gao.
So,
he did nothing wrong.
I do want to say that I think Mnuchin really cracked the code when it came to getting UW whatever it wanted in the Capitol. She hired a couple of Rhino former GOP staffers to put a friendly face on all their asks. So the next person's going to have to follow that too. But I do want to read.
They should hire me.
I do want to read in full and get your immediate reactions to a Brett Halsey press release. So one of the things we missed last week when we were talking about the Democratic Gubernatorial Forum was the erasure of Brett Halsey. But have no fear, Brett authored a press release, and I have to read this thing. It's in its entirety. Get your reaction. So,
justice for Brett. Justice for Brett.
Former UW-Madison student, state representative, and carpenter Brett Halsey made the following statement on Chancellor Mnuchin's departure to Columbia University. I want to thank Chancellor Mnuchin for her service to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, the state, and the students. During the leadership tenure, the university improved important national rankings, improved student outcomes, and made UW-Madison educational more affordable. I want to wish her the best and know that Columbia University will be happy to have her. Okay, great traditional press release, but here comes Brett Halsey's off the rails crazy. I especially will miss the Babcock Hall Mnuchin dough ice cream, which I like with my hot fudge sundae with pecans. He spelled Sunday wrong, but that's beside the point. We need a world-class chancellor like Donna Shalala, who I worked with in 1992 Clinton-Gore campaign war room as the deputy political director for agriculture and the environment. And for those who are unaware, Donna Shalala was the UW chancellor from 1988, so when I was 2 years old, until 1993, and I think before most of the rest of the panel here was born. Then she went on to be head secretary for Clinton. Donna Shalala's UW leadership was legendary, working with Tommy Thompson to support UW's system, public schools, working benefits and rights, expanding Wisconsin idea to spread UW research to all Wisconsin citizens, making Wisconsin athletics great again, setting the stage for the Rose Bowl victory in 1994, getting us a new football coach and athletic director, and reverse the 2022 Tiffany Walker Unfair Despair Act 10 of $396.2 billion cuts to the university system. At the Sierra Club, I took UW-Madison toxicology class about PCB risks in chemistry that were invaluable to the billion-dollar cleanup plans for Fox River when I worked at the Sierra Club. He goes on to say, I want to highlight this other part where he claims full advice. He claims full for the cryptosporidium outbreak standards that he set. He's also said, I worked in 1993 with President Clinton, VP Gore, and FEMA to move 12,000 flood victims home out of harm's way. The flood plans, when it hit western Wisconsin, the 1993 floods killed 80 and cost $18 billion in property and agricultural damage. Go Badgers. For this,
is Bob Denal his fucking comms person?
It must be. For this, Halsey was awarded FEMA Distinguished Public Service Award and named a Clean Water Champion by Men's Fitness magazine. That's the end. Now, I'm not saying Brett made up this claim about Clean Water Champion, but I spent a lot of time searching, probably way too much, but was unable to locate any primary source from Men's Fitness magazine to claim him as a Clean Water specific award recipient. So I've been searching for this. Brett, if he's listening, needs to come on the show and
get Brett on the show
and tell us what he won this award. But
please close, no speedo.
Yes, this guy needs to come on the show, and you need to hand him a live flashbang and see what he does with it.
I mean, it's just funny that he's talking about the Sierra Club. He talked about the Rose Bowl. He talked about Clinton. He talked about flood victims, FEMA, and this all came from the Jewish chancellor retiring. Like, what are we doing?
Whoa! Why does that? Oh, because is he like an anti-Semite or something?
Well, he's a Civil War veteran.
That's true too. That's true. I imagined him saying this press release, speaking it in front of a podium, dressed as Colonel Bass Ackwards, the Civil War Southern gentleman.
I bet he probably is thinking to himself, how can I make a ridiculous press release so people look at it? And, and honestly, it's working because we're talking about it right now. Why would I read a stupid press release about the UW chancellor from some no-name crazy guy that, probably shouldn't be on our streets?
I just love the cryptosporidium killed 80. Go Badgers.
I just want everyone to know that.
Yeah, like what? This guy's a lunatic.
I need you to understand if you're listening to this, just from a professional PR perspective. Well, number one, I've actually, believe it or not, read worse press releases, but you don't need a press release for everything. You can just use X. You can just use X. You can just
not say anything at all, because who cares about your dumb opinion about UW.
Unless you're Brett Halsey, please keep posting press releases.
Yeah. We need to get this guy in the assembly. We need to get this guy in the assembly.
So for the youngins,
I give him my full endorsement.
For the youngins listening to the show, Brett Halsey is a crazy person, obviously, who once dressed up as a Civil War Confederate veteran at the Republican convention and harassed Black Republicans. And also, same guy was taking pictures of minors in their bathing suits at, was it Lake Mendota or Minota? And that was just like, I just do this sometimes.
And he flipped one. He flipped one of them over
over in their like inner tube.
So I'm dropping the image in the chat. You think I was joking when I said he was Colonel Bass Ackwards? No, this is
a cartoon character come to life, and he is still a more serious gubernatorial candidate than Kel DeRoy's.
Does he have a gap tooth?
Oh yes.
He's got a Michael Strahan gap.
So I just looked it up, and it turns out he did hand out Ku Klux Klan hoods.
Yes, he did.
To protest Governor Scott Walker's policies. Wait a second. Are the Democrats, they must be coming up with like a new strategy. I've never heard that one before.
Yeah.
They're calling everyone racist over every single possible
time
policy.
Is a flat circle. It eventually comes back around.
So fun recent Brett Halsey story. So he's just been lurking around the state capitol. Like just hanging out. He parks his car in 1 hour parking for way too long. Capitol Police, if you're listening to this, please ticket this man. It's a large pedophile van with Go Pack Go on the side. I am not joking about this. I was going to the bathroom in the Capitol, and I was wearing like my state assembly vest, and I'm walking out, and Brett Halsey, who I didn't recognize him at first, like corners me and tries like pitching his policies to me and trying to convince me that he's like a moderate. And I'm just like, because like, look, like when you work in the Capitol, you run into a lot of crazy homeless people. So I just kind of assumed that this was another one of them. Like, no, he just hangs out there. It's insane.
I thought you were going to say he followed you into the bathroom.
He might have tried to if you would have walked that way. If I would have taken a little bit longer. I mean, he literally was like waiting for me out of there so that he could talk to me, because he was like, hey, you work here, let me tell you all my crazy ideas, which like I hear that all the time from like actual people who call the office. Like, I don't need to hear it from you, dude. Like, I know exactly who the fuck you are.
His brand of crazy in 2012 is now like the moderate Dem position.
Yeah.
He was really a revolutionary character, if you think about it. Not to,
No, he was a Civil War character.
Yeah.
So, in the least shocking news, Milwaukee Mayor Chevy Johnson announced Friday, that Community Wellness and Safety Director Adam Procell will resign. The news comes after the city attorney said Procell couldn't hold the post of department head due to his previous murder conviction. Procell spent more than 20 years in prison for a gang-related homicide conviction in 1996. Since his release in 2018, he focused on helping others make the same transition back to society. But according to city leaders, the state constitution does not allow a person convicted of a felony like murder from being head of a municipal department. They don't want a murderer to head a municipal department. Eric, I think you might have a thought or two on this one. I'll let you lead off.
So this is the whole reason why I'm on the podcast today, because I saw this all happening live, and I'm like, I'm seeing, not to throw anybody under the bus, but like I'm going to throw people under the bus here. Like the Milwaukee GOP puts out this statement defending this guy, and I'm just sitting here like, okay, but like he fucking killed somebody. I've met Adam Procell. I met him through like previous work. He genuinely very, very nice guy, does a lot of good work with his nonprofit. Like he was caught up in a bunch of gang stuff when he was a teenager, like was living a bad life, was in a bad situation, murdered a rival gang member, did his time in jail, came out, found the Lord, and is dedicated to helping people avoid the same situation that
he's truly reformed.
Into it. Like truly has reformed himself and has found purpose in his life and is helping people avoid those situations, and then also helping people as they're leaving the criminal justice system, try to like help them find their footing. Admirable work, absolutely admirable work. Truly a good person from my few interactions with him. That being said, he killed somebody and is tabbed to run a violence prevention department in the city of Milwaukee. Let's set aside his personal like redemption story and all the good things that I had just mentioned about him. Like, and just ask yourself this question, because I think this is the question that a lot of people who are defending him need to ask themselves. Regardless of what you think of him as a person right now, should a convicted murderer draw a taxpayer-funded salary for a violence prevention program that, quite frankly, shouldn't exist in the first place, because we already have a violence prevention program in the city of Milwaukee, and it's called the Milwaukee Police Department. This program shouldn't exist in the first place. This position shouldn't exist in the first place. But if it has to exist, you're telling me you can't find anyone in the city of Milwaukee that didn't kill someone to run this fucking program? That's absolutely insane to me. And I just, the fact that we're seeing like conservative people defend it. Again, I get he's a nice guy. I get a lot of people have interacted with him and have a good impression of him. Set that aside. Number one, should this program exist? Yes or no? And if it does have to exist, should a convicted murderer get a taxpayer-funded salary to run this program? I think that's an insane position for Republicans to take.
Yeah, this should
right.
be an
Like
easy
we would
up for us. Sorry, JS Online. Just real quick.
Well, go.
Well, I was just going to say, this should be, the GOP serves as the opposition party in Milwaukee County because of, obviously, it's a heavily Democrat. Like, this is a kind of an easy layup, like violence of prevention hires a murderer. This is politics. Set aside the personal stuff. Just the facts, like this department shouldn't even exist to begin with. And then second of all, they were now, to their benefit or to the surprise of everyone, they're actually like, I don't think we can do this. Usually they would just say, screw it, we're going to do it anyway. So it's just kind of like it's buffoonery, to be quite honest.
Well, I mean, Kristen Lyerly tried to get a taxpayer-funded position, and she murders children all the time and brags about it. So, I mean, that seems like a very Democrat thing to do. And I guess, why does the Milwaukee GOP have any type of a stake in this? Is he like a part of it or something?
I don't know. I mean, I know a lot of people there have interacted with him through different
They
avenues.
have personal relationship with
but
him.
Again, let's get back to this whole, you don't need a press release for anything or need to say anything. Like, why are you saying anything? That's like really dumb. Like, why are you weighing in? This has nothing to do with
you. I could give you a whole 50-minute podcast on communications mistakes that, county parties, RPW candidates have made. So maybe that's a story for another day. Because yes, you're absolutely right.
I mean, and it's sad too, because with AI, like you can, like it will fix your grammar.
Yeah, you can ask ChatGPT, should I make a public statement about this? And it'll give you some good advice, usually.
Well, and it's
right.
It just didn't need to be said. And like you can just say, I like Purcell, and that's it. You just doesn't have to be. And you notice. Now, I like AJ Bayatpour. I do. I think he does solid work, all that jazz. And we've said that multiple times.
Big fan. Great.
However, how many times has AJ done a story on the Milwaukee GOP? Not many, if any. And the only time he uses one is when you're like counter signaling, quote unquote, Republicans, which I guess, any reporter likes to see Republicans pile on Republicans or like counter signal on Republicans. So it just seems like that was just, of course, they picked that up because you're kind of bashing the quote unquote, hard on crime narrative from Republicans.
Well, and not to like Dan O'Donnell did a great segment on his show today, just kind of highlighting the constitutionality of it. Like the state constitution literally says, like, if you cannot. So part of the issue is this position was originally housed in a different department. And then Chevy, for whatever reason, wanted to move it into its own department to make this guy the department head. And that is what violated the Constitution, at least from my understanding of the situation. And like literally the city attorney, who is Evan Goyke, a former Democrat lawmaker, was like, yeah, you can't do that. There's a reason why Chevy Johnson, when he made this appointment, like did not talk to his city council about it. He had a bunch of other people on the list for this appointment, and then bypass all of them and name Purcell the guy without talking to the city council about it at all, because he knew this would be the issue. And he knew that the optics of hiring a convicted murderer for a violence prevention position was absolutely just ludicrous. You wouldn't hire a convicted rapist to head up like a sexual abuse prevention program. That would like no Democrat would do that. But for whatever reason, this is okay because he's reformed, and he is. Like I bet
Democrats
would, but like,
I mean, Democrats do it.
Yeah, but like,
I mean, they definitely hire people that should not be hired.
Yeah. Well, again, like this position shouldn't exist in the first place, but
and
watch Chevy's press conference on this, because he makes it all about Trump. Like, listen to that press conference. He talks about, well, we have a president who's got all these felony convictions. Yeah, he didn't murder anybody. Like, and also those convictions are bullshit. Like, this guy actually killed someone, and you hired him regardless.
Well, no. Let me just say one thing. This also can also be attributed to the fact that like this was kind of a poor newsjacking attempt, right? So the Milwaukee County GOP, in not knowing what is newsworthy or what they can like get attention for, decided to get attention for the wrong thing because they see something as news of the day and they go, oh, I have something to say about this. And then like, you know, people will talk about it, right? I don't know if that was the exact mindset that, you know, people went through when they decided to make that statement. But this is why, like, you know, good communication strategy matters.
Well, I mean, Jessica McBride's like doubling down on it too. And like, you know, Jessica does great work in other areas, but like, you're wrong on this. Why are you defending your entire outlet exists?
Your best work
exists because you are uncovering soft on crime policies in blue cities. And here you are defending a convicted murderer getting a taxpayer-funded salary for a position that shouldn't exist. I don't get it. I do not get it whatsoever.
I just, it's very easily, it's so easy to, you can have basically you'd be like, ha ha ha, this is kind of ironic that this is coming to this end. And then be like, yeah, Purcell's like a decent guy. And that's it. That's all you have to say. You don't even, like, honestly, Republicans shouldn't, if anything, if you don't have anything good to say, just don't say it.
Yeah, I mean, I am just pissed off knowing that I am sitting here talking about this because it just, I shouldn't be, because you should just shut the F up, quite frankly. Like, I mean, I don't even care what your opinion is. I personally think that I believe in second chances. I think people can change, you know, but at the end of the day, you're a county party. You should just not say anything. This isn't like a wild concept whatsoever. They do it all the time. It's simple. You just don't open up your computer and type down words.
Or frame it from your premise of, you know, authority. You know, one thing that the Democrats, you know, and I'm not going to name them, but they often do pretty good comms work from the Democrat side, but they always fight from their position, from their premise. It's always on the offense, or it's always like they frame everything to be advantageous to themselves. This doesn't do any of it. It's kind of out of left field, quite honestly.
What do we gain from this?
There's nothing to gain.
Who are we appealing to? The murderers? Are all of a sudden the pro-murder people going to vote Republican?
No.
Probably the fuck not. Like,
well, who's going to read a press release from the Milwaukee GOP? Not swing voters or anyone that cares.
I don't think anybody reading Urban Milwaukee is going to be like, you know what? I think the Milwaukee GOP makes like,
you know, they brought facts and logic to the situation. I'm going to vote Republican now.
Right. Like, there's just nothing happened.
You vote Republican in Milwaukee County by absolutely lambasting. I mean, imagine if Chevy ran for governor and this comes out.
Oh yeah,
this would have been amazing.
Gold mine. It'd be gold mine news.
But if the Milwaukee GOP is counter signaling it, then it makes no sense.
This is actually gonna win. We're gonna win Milwaukee now because of this. Tom Tiffany is going to win Milwaukee because of that press release.
You know what?
I'm convinced.
I as much as I love Will Martin and I love David Varnum, I think Adam Purcell should be the next lieutenant governor. I think that is the key here. We need to balance out the anti-murder ticket. And I think Adam Purcell's.
We have one non-murderer. We'll have one murderer. It'll balance.
Well, we need to be able to compete with the Democrats' abortion stance of murdering children. So therefore, we can have our own murderer that murders adults. I think that's a little less in the Democrats, or at least in, I don't know, people might think that. Probably not, but either way. That's the only way we can compete.
And with that, I think it's a great time to get to some candy. I want to talk about a couple stories really quickly here. The first one's about trees, and I just love the framing of this one from Madeline Heim from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. Stymied by Trump funding freeze, the Milwaukee Church has still planted 26 trees. So last year, Solomon Community Temple United Methodist Church in Harambee neighborhood was set to receive federal funding for tree planting, but the Trump administration froze the grant money that would combat climate change. But with help from donations and grants, the church was able to plant 26 trees and 56 shrubs last year. Solomon Community Temple is set to receive about $29,000 from the Chicago nonprofit Faith in Place to plant 16 trees on its property. Faith in Place distributes $1.9 million in tree planting grants that comes from $1.5 billion in U.S. Forest Service industry tree planting grants from the Biden administration. That was part of course, the Inflation Reduction Act. So I wanted to tip Scott Kelly for posting this one, pointing out that not only federal money was not needed and the trees were planted, they spent $3,000 in donations to buy more trees than the $29,000 that would federally be provided. And yeah, just what a waste of money in the IRA for a.
This is when I have my most libertarian moments where I'm like, the federal government should be dissolved and we should just only have a standing military, and that's it, because we're giving out money for fucking trees. So yeah, that's my libertarian moments just come out at times like this.
I just have two questions. So number one is the resident tree expert here.
True.
Asking for Bob Denal. Are those trees native to Wisconsin? And then question two, how many of them exploded in the cold weather this last week?
I don't know, but I mean, they're probably brand new trees. So, it doesn't have like the sap in them, so they don't, expand and explode. But saw a lot of videos though online of trees exploding because of the cold.
Sure.
Which is absolutely insane. It's like a gunshot going off. It's so loud. But
so other bit of candy news, guys. I don't know if you know this. This has just been made news to me. But Kirk Bangstad, who is apparently this liberal brewer in Minocqua, is an asshole. First time I've ever heard this. First time we've ever talked about on the show.
You're telling me this for the first time.
So he announced on the Minocqua Brewing Company, I believe it was their Facebook page, they were going to promote a deal for free beer all day long the day President Trump dies. So I think we should at least do the same thing for a man who's known and bragged about cheating on his dying wife. If he kicks it, free beer on behalf of the New Fashion Conservative.
He did that?
Oh, yeah. You didn't know that?
No, what a scumbag.
I mean, this is nothing new though for him. This is just an average weekday.
That tells you how shitty his beer is, though, that you have to give it away for free when somebody dies for people to actually drink it.
True. Very true. I mean,
he just must lay awake at night, just like seething and just thinking of Republicans.
He does.
What a sicko.
He does, and then he posts it on his Substack.
Didn't he do that like round table where he was like planning for the revolution and he was like strategizing? Didn't he? And I thought there was like a picture of it and they had like a map on the table. Didn't he do something like that? Or
him and a bunch of other blue-haired boomers that think they're going to defend Minocqua Brewing to their death.
I hope he becomes
what's that other?
I hope he becomes Kirk Flashbangstad soon.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what was that other crazy governor candidate named? Something Halsey or something?
Yeah.
Halsey. That guy and Kirk Bangstad, we should just put them in a ring and put like a flashbang in there and just see what happens. Just see what happens. Maybe 2 or 3 flashbangs. Who knows? We could make it interesting.
They could fight and raise money for the Ukraine.
No, it seems like
Ukraine. Everybody always gets up my ass because I say the.
Think about how many trees we would be able to plant if those two got in a ring and fought over a flashbang. It would reverse climate change. We would not die.
It would
in
reduce
5
some
years.
carbon emissions for sure.
Yeah. There'd be a lot more oxygen in the air.
Wasn't Kirk even considering running for governor at one point?
He did post that at one of his late night scribes.
Oh God, that'd be great.
He should get in the race.
He's not a patriot.
How is he going to start the revolution if he's not governor?
I mean, true. He
needs to run.
We need him there. But other bit of news, I don't know if you saw this one. So wild turkeys are attacking Janesville residents.
Yeah.
So this is so the story goes, so the WMTV 15 News interviewed Lawrence Meyer in Janesville, who said as he was approaching crossing the street, the turkeys started chasing after him. It's scary. Like these big birds, they're as tall as my son. When they fluff their feathers, it's scary. They're as huge as an 8-year-old. Said, I love my wildlife. At first, the turkeys were cool. They brought life to the neighborhood. As it developed, they become a nuisance. They block traffic. They've caused accidents, and they went after my mailman. So I'm thinking as if you're the mailman and you're being attacked by a turkey, just grab a heavy piece of mail, which is probably already 4 days late because it's the USPS. Take a giant swing at the turkey, hit him with a phone book or something that you have to deliver, and no more problems. I think I could take a turkey. Nicole, do you think you could?
I'd try to pet it.
Yeah.
I'm that friend. Like I'm that person that if I see the turkeys on the side of the road, I'm slowing down. I'm rolling down my window. I want to look. But that's that's just
JS Online. Do you think you could? Do you think you could take a turkey?
One thing people don't realize is turkeys have these very long talons on the back of their feet, and that's kind of how they fight.
No way.
I think they would do it. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And they're also maybe one of the dumbest creatures alive besides Democrats.
I was going to say, that's not true. We just got done talking about Kirk Bangstad.
Well, right. Yeah. But I mean, I think a turkey, I'd much rather have a turkey president than Joe Biden. I mean, they're way more alive. But even most Democrats, Kamala Harris, a turkey would have been better.
Well,
but
JS Online, I thought you were going to say to get rid of it, you were just going to give it a flashbang and see what happened.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, it would know what to do with a flashbang because it's smarter than a Democrat.
And this is what years of
so it wouldn't even be entertaining at all.
Pardoning turkeys. This is what you get. This is how they thank you. They attack.
Yeah, they've gotten entitled.
And my last thought on that though is, or you could just deal with it like the Oconomowoc PD dealt with the Sandhill Crane when there was an issue.
Was just pecking the shit out of people's
I don't even know if it was just walking around in the subdivision. Oconomowoc PD rolled up in their, their Silverado or their Suburban, just, and blew its head, schmoove off.
Fucking imagine if ICE did that.
Oh my God. It literally just, they released the body cam footage of this PD officer shooting the Sandhill Crane.
They did?
Yeah.
They had to, but they said
there was an officer involved shooting.
Every year, 30 to 40 million Canadian geese cross our borders illegally, and I think it's about time we, shoot more of them too.
Canadian gooses,
sky carp,
majestic creatures.
Yeah, the sky carp. And so, last bit of news, I want to highlight this one since we've had a couple of folks that have been on for interviews, sat down with us, and we ended up talking NASCAR and racing with them for a long time. So, Pewaukee native Grant Gershbach is competing in a new NASCAR reality series, which sounds awesome. He's going to be one of 15 drivers competing in Race for the Seat, a new reality series that offers a pathway to NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. So, going to be watching him race to compete to be on the NASCAR Truck Series. Hopefully, race comes back to Milwaukee Mile. We can all be there. Not that the Milwaukee Mile needs to sponsor us or anything, but would be cool to see that. And, for those of us who are NASCAR fans and been listening to the show for a while, I hope they like this little nod. So with that, final thoughts. Anyone? Nicole, JS Opinion. Let us know.
No, I mean, just thanks for the conversation, guys. It's been very fun. I'm happy to, hop in the back seat and ride with you anytime.
JS?
Yeah, no, it was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. I think we had a pretty good conversation here. I definitely went off the rails a little bit. That's kind of my personality, though. I like to get very animated. So everything that I say is a joke, so you cannot hold it against me in the future, anyone listening and recording.
Parody. We're laughing.
And
exactly. I can say whatever I want because of that.
Drop your handles, of course, for anybody listening so they can follow you.
I am at Big Nick NIC Energy.
I have to pull it up. I don't know it offhand. It's like JS. It's been a while. I haven't really been tweeting as much. I apologize.
JS Online MKE.
I'm less online. I've been touching at grass recently. Yeah.
Please direct all of your anger there. Speaking of Mark Pocan, while JS is pulling this up, So if you want to cut this, you can cut this. But I'm a big pro wrestling fan. And tomorrow, as we're recording this today, so Saturday, the 31st, is the Royal Rumble. And I decided that it'd be fun to ask ChatGPT to help me book a 2026 Wisconsin Politics Royal Rumble. And so bear with me for a second. It's a little bit longer, but I think this is some good fun. So entrant number 1 is, of course, Derek Van Orden. He marches to the ring like he's late for a cable news hit, rips his jacket off, points at the hard cam. He wants chaos. Entrant number 2 is naturally Mark Pocan. Pocan slides in and immediately gets nose to nose with Van Orden. The bell hasn't even faded before they're throwing hands. This is personal. Years of Twitter beef explode into stiff forearms and trash talk. Entrant number 3 is Ron Johnson. He wanders in looking a little bit perturbed, checks his watch, starts lecturing the ref about federal overreach. Van Orden shoves him aside to keep swinging on Mark Pocan. Entrant number 4 is Glenn Grothman. Grothman immediately reaches into his pocket to pull out a half-eaten sandwich. No one knows why. He shrugs and starts chewing while watching the fight like it's C-SPAN. Entrant number 5 is Tom Tiffany. Huge crowd reaction from the Northwoods. Tiffany storms in and starts clearing house with clotheslines. Entrant number 6 is my favorite, Bill Berrien. Berrien slides in smugly, does a weird self-serious pose, and then Tiffany immediately dumps him over the top rope while mouthing something like, "Keep it medium," as Berrien disappears. Entrant number 6 is Rebecca Clayfish, coming in laser focus. Entrant number 8 is Tim Michaels. Michaels points at Clayfish, shouting about his primary. They lock up, pure bad blood. Clayfish ducks a charge, yanks Michaels by the jacket, throws him out of the ring, eliminates him. She stares him down as he fumes on the floor. Entrant number 9 is Julian Bradley, former pro wrestler who hits the ropes cleanly, is throwing suplexes all over the place. The crowd realizes this guy knows what he's doing. Entrant number 10 is Robin Voss. Classic heel, hides behind Grothman, tries to form alliances and make deals with people. Grothman offers him some pocket food. Voss declines. Entrant number 11, Francesca Hong. The arena goes nuts. This is in Madison, I should add. Entrant number 12, Mandela Barnes. The two cross lock eyes. Hong and Barnes circle each other. Slowly. No punches, just tension. Commentary absolutely milks the entire subtext of their relationship. They finally trade some slaps that feel way too real. Entrant number 13 is a surprise one. Joe McCarthy enters the ring.
My favorite.
Oh,
the lights dim slightly. McCarthy steps in and immediately freezes, staring directly at socialist Francesca Hong. Hong stares back, arms crossed. The crowd oohs and ahs. Red Scare energy is abundant. No contact, just a long, uncomfortable glare before McCarthy backs away, muttering about communists. Entrant number 14, Tommy Thompson. Big nostalgia pop, starts handing out handshakes mid-rumble. Entrant number 15, Tony Evers. Evers jogs in, immediately gets double-teamed by Voss and Ron Johnson. He calmly survives by rolling under the ropes like a seasoned bureaucrat. Entrant number 16, Tammy Baldwin. Starts cleaning house with efficient strikes and is an absolute workhorse, which is the first thing ChatGPT has gotten wrong with this entire thread.
Yeah, that's true.
Entrant number 17 is David Crowley. As Crowley enters, Brian Schimming, who's on commentary, squints across the ring confused. Interesting. Entrant number 18, LaTanya Johnson. Crowd immediately starts chanting, "Fuck the suburbs," at her. Entrant number 19, Lena Taylor. Lena storms in, points at LaTanya, screaming, "Don't you know who I am?" They brawl viciously. Lena wins with pure rage, tossing LaTanya over the top rope. Entrant number 20, Smokin' Bob Donovan. Bob instantly targets Crowley. Months of Milwaukee drama flying off the rails. Entrant number 21 is a surprise entrant, Paul Ryan. Ryan jogs in awkwardly, tries to mediate and play the responsible person, immediately regrets it. Crowd boos. Entrant number 22, Sean Duffy. Duffy comes in, tries to introduce an axe into the ring, but gets it tossed out. Duffy flexes anyway. Entrant number 23, Brian Schimming. Shimming comes in from commentary, stares across the ring at Mandela Barnes and David Crowley, blinking confusedly, saying, wait, which one is... Both Barnes and Crowley glare. Shimming panics and reaches into his pocket to buy someone off to avoid elimination. Unfortunately, there's no money in his pocket. He looks horrified, pocket empty, existential crisis is intact. Entrant number 24, Mark Belling. Nuclear heat. Everyone punches him on sight. Gone in under a minute. No mercy. Sorry, Mark. Love you. Entrant number 25 is Gwen Moore. Veteran presence, starts throwing elbows like she's been there before and fending people off like she's fighting people at a Ruth Chris steakhouse. Entrant number 26 is Kelda Royce. Kelda immediately targets Mark Pocan. Commentary reminds us that they ran against each other and that Kelda did some shady things in that race. She yells something about authenticity while Pocan shoves her away. Kelda ends up getting her own back, clotheslining Pocan and stands strong, taunting the crowd. Entrant number 27, gong, lights go out. It's Andre Jock.
Oh,
Kelda freezes as Andre walks down the aisle and screams, "You're supposed to be dead." Andre gets in the ring, grabs her by the collar, and just throws her out of the ring. Entrant number 28, Scott Walker, mega heat, walks in smiling like it's 2012. Entrant number 29, Kevin Nicholson, getting jeered by the crowd from every direction, only for entrant number 30, Leah Vukmir, to come in and immediately eliminate him from the ring. I'll let the audience decide how that final four shakes out. I like to think that it's a final four of Tom, Tiffany, Mandela Barnes, Francesca Hong, and Robin Voss. I think that's the most entertaining one. But let us know who you think would win a Wisconsin Politics Royal Rumble. Thank you.
Oh, I think Robin Voss would easily win.
Well, I'm not even a wrestling fan, but I would watch the hell out of Mandela Barnes and Francesca Hong having just this weird tension. But hey, Brooks, drop the handle for everyone listening if they don't know you already. Of course,
the handle is @ebrooks uncut.
And then of course me, but we don't need.
And has JS figured out what his handle is yet?
Oh yeah, mine's JS Online MKEBS. So yeah, go follow me. I'll try to tweet more.
And glad I could buy you enough time.
With that,
yeah, I don't.
This was an awesome episode. Nicole, Eric Brooks, JSOpinions, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Make sure to follow them on their socials. Follow us at New Fashion Pod. If you like what you hear, make sure to like, share, subscribe, drop us that 5-star. Let us know who you think should be in the final four of a Wisconsin State Politics Royal Rumble. For the New Fashion Conservatives, I'm Justin Phillips. Have a great Monday and a great February.